I mean, sticking on that theme with UAE dominance, we're going to talk about the rankings later on. What is happening with Jumbo Visma? We haven't really seen them roll out their big stars as of yet.
I don't know, because this is what I was wondering. It's just like I haven't seen head or tail of Wout, Vingegaard, Roglic, Laporte. Just like I'm just we're getting to March, guys. Like Omloop's just around the corner. Like surely, I don't know. It feels weird to have not seen them after all, they are just so prevalent on our TV screens so much of the year that it feels weird that I haven't seen them in months. I mean, wow, of course, more recently through cyclocross as well, seen him there, but it seems like forever since I've seen Vingard. Isn't he doing Fon Ardèche Classic, something like that,
Gran
upcoming really
Camino
soon?
in Spain.
Yes, yeah, he's doing that. So but I feel like Vingegaard's he doesn't really seem to get into full speed until he gets to the tour, sort of like you were saying earlier, Scott, how the GC riders who seem to solely aim at just the Grand Tour, unlike Pogacar, who does kind of a bit of everything. So Vingegaard, I mean, of course, Vingegaard and Pogacar are both going to Paris-Nice. I'm very interested to see what's going to happen there, especially if there's some crosswind action. I think that'll be a fantastic watch. I love watching Paris There's a bit of crosswind action going on, just to see can Jumbo put him under pressure, Pogacar that is, in some crosswinds with some dominant team performance possibly. So we'll wait and see. I don't know where Jumbo Visma are. They just seem to be sending under 23 riders to everything, but that's all right. At least they get their opportunity.
This feels like characteristic Jumbo Visma now. For the past like maybe season, it's been like this. Even looking back now, with their Giro performances over the past 3 years, pretty anonymous there. It's almost as if like with outside of their main goals of the season, what's the point of trying? What's the point of sending these guys to get them a little bit racing in the legs, get them used to riding against Pogacar and a fully formed UAE. Now, let's send them to an altitude camp for as long as possible. So the likes of Laporte, Roglic, all that, they'll be chilling at sort of 3,000 meters above sea level somewhere on some sort of altitude camp, getting ready for the later goals. I don't necessarily think that's the best approach, but it's Jumbo Visma. They've probably done the calculations and they're doing this. Jumbo Visma are sort of the more innovative team of this age. They're like the Team Sky of years gone by in terms of pushing and sort of making new trends. And I think that they're doing this altitude camp spiel more than UAE. We'll find out at Paris-Nice whether it works or not, because Pogacar's going to have an awful lot of racing in his legs. Vingegaard is not. Vingegaard's proved that he can compete at the highest level, but he hasn't won a UCI World Tour stage race yet in his career. That's what I'm saying. Oh, apart from the Tour de France, I mean, in terms of 1 week long stage racing,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
on the World Tour
Yeah,
level, 1 week long stage racing.
yeah. I knew what you meant, funnily enough. I just
Yeah, I mean, look at UAE. They're sending Sepp Kuss that we spoke about that he's not really a GC leader. The Giro, they got the blue jersey, but it's like, is that really something they're going to be happy about? 2 stages with Koen Bouwman. But again, that's not where really we're expecting Jumbo. We would expect them to have a
Yeah, and
podium at least in every single Grand Tour.
I think as well that's what's creating such kind of intense discourse about Roglic, of whether Roglic should go to the Giro and then the Tour de France, in terms of everyone just assumes Jumbo just pour all of their resources into the Tour de France. It's a bit like Team Sky back in like 2015, 16, if you recall. Then Sky would have sort of a wild card Giro, then put all of the resources into the Tour de France and get the best result possible. It's almost as if no other races in the calendar exist apart from races outside of the Fifth French Republic. It's an interesting approach. I don't necessarily think I agree with it. Us as fans, of course, we're hungry for more, but I think once they get some good results going, then they keep that ball rolling. We saw last summer there were days where there was a Jumbo Visma victory almost every day on different corners of Europe for weeks upon end. Where you have Olaf Koy winning in Spain one day, you have Wout van Aert winning a race in the Netherlands the next day. It really was sort of a chain reaction and domino effect within the team and their victories. But so far this season, we're not seeing it. I think they're playing their cards close to their chest and really banking everything on these altitude camps. For instance, Roglic is only racing once before the Giro d'Italia this year, when he goes to the Volta Catalunya in Spain. So I think that shows, even with Vingegaard's reduced racing schedule as well, I think it shows that they really are hoping that these altitude camps and the training that they're doing, their blocks, their sort of personal private training blocks, are going to outdo the public showdowns against Pogacar that we as fans really want to see.
Yeah, I guess they want that because, like you say, they want to keep their cards close to their chest. If they go racing and then people can see what kind of shape their rider's in. If they go on an altitude camp and it's all behind curtains, then all of a sudden when they turn up to a race, people aren't too sure what to expect until all of a sudden Vingegaard hits them with a devastating attack and wins. Everybody thinks, well, where did that come from? And that's the whole point. You don't know where it's coming from. You don't know if he's doing really good or really bad. You're in completely the dark. So we know about as much as UAE do. So therefore, they're just like, well, we don't know. Vingegaard could be crap. He could be good. Who knows?
At the same time, it gives them less sort of opportunity to test out racing tactics and sort of get that racing simulation in their legs. Remember last year at Paris-Nice on stage 1, that move with Van Hooijdonk, with Roglic, Wout, and Laporte? They replicated that in Calais at the Tour de France. They copy-paste. They're not going to have as many opportunities to do that with copy-paste with Vingegaard there, with less racing on their hands. Also, with sort of scenarios, remember the last stage of Paris-Nice last year, when Wout had to sort of be the savior for Roglic. That could happen at this year's Tour de France, where one rider really has to help out the other rider on a difficult rolling stage with many hills and mountains on the agenda. I think racing provides a really, really good opportunity to test up and tune up not only your legs, but also your mentality. These altitude camps, they're great. You get to do motor pacing up a big old volcano in Tenerife. Wow. But it's not the same as powering up these sort of Andalusian climbs alongside Pogacar and seeing what he is like at this time of year with his new squad, with Tim Wellens, with Felix Gauchardner, with these guys that we're probably going to see race with him later into the calendar.